Hello everyone. Today I'll be talking about obesity and insulin. So there could be many reasons of obesity, but one of the major factors is insulin. So let us understand this. This is the digestive system of the human body. So we eat food, it enters through our mouth into the food pipe, which is the esophagus, and then it enters into the stomach. This is the liver, and then from the stomach it enters into the small intestine, and then into the large intestine, and then excretion. So there is an organ which is situated just below the stomach and at the start, that is at the duodenum. This is the pancreas. Now there are many functions of the pancreas, but one of its function is that it secretes the insulin hormone. The beta cells of the pancreatic islets, they secrete this hormone insulin. Now, what are hormones? Now, hormones are the chemical messengers in our body. We are unaware of it, but they are functioning every day. So, if you just observe a baby, so a baby, if you observe, a baby cries when he or she is hungry. So that is how the mother knows that the baby has to be fed. How does the baby know that they are hungry? So the reason is because there are signals sent to the brain that he or she is hungry. So when the mother feeds the baby, then the baby's stomach is full. And after that, the baby doesn't tend to overeat. So that is because there are again signals sent to the brain that the stomach is full. So these are chemical messengers being sent throughout our body. Now there are so many hormones in our body, like feelings, feelings of happiness. Now we crave for very tasty food. Whenever there is nice tasty aroma, when there's good food cooked in the kitchen, we feel very happy and excited. Our mouth starts watering to eat that food. So there is saliva secretion in our tongue. So the reason is because there are signals sent to the brain, and these are managed by hormones. Many things are managed by hormones. Menstruation cycle, then feelings, happiness, sadness, pleasure, anxiety, pain, all of it is managed by hormones. So insulin is one hormone that manages the glucose level in our blood. So now let us understand, suppose you have a very carbohydrate rich meal. So carbohydrates during the process of digestion are broken down to its simple form, which is sugars. So what are carbohydrates? They are different multiple sugars coming together, and they form this big molecule called carbohydrate. So when they are digested in the body, for the body to absorb it, it's broken down to its smaller units, sugars, which is glucose. Now, a lot of carbohydrates entering into the bloodstream, a lot of sugars entering in the body, surplus amount of it. Insulin is the hormone that helps in the regulation of the blood glucose level. Now, for example, consider a cup of tea. Now you want to drink tea and you pour it in a cup. So the cup, it gets full after you pour it. But yet you still keep pouring, and then what happens? The tea, it overflows and it falls on the saucer. But still you're unaware that the cup is full. Yet you keep pouring, then it overflows and it spills on the tray. So this is the same thing happening when there is lot of amount of glucose, surplus amount of it fills into the teacup. This is an example. So again, unaware, yet you keep pouring, it overflows and it goes onto the saucer. But still yet you keep supplying a lot of glucose, then it overflows and it spills on the tray. So let us understand how does this work. So if you're aware that the cup was full, you will stop there. But if you're unaware, you will keep pouring and it overflows. So a lot of glucose entering into the bloodstream, insulin plays the role of regulating the blood glucose. So when there is a lot of glucose, then insulin rises, the level of insulin rises. Now this glucose, now how much the body requires? Yes, it utilizes for energy. So insulin has many functions. It helps in bringing the blood glucose to normal. It helps in utilizing this glucose and also in storage. Now this glucose is utilized for energy. Now you don't require that surplus amount of glucose. How much you require? Yes, you will utilize it for your energy. But that extra amount that you have supplied, it gets filled into the liver in the form of glycogen. Now glycogen is the stored form of sugar. It gets stored in your muscles in the form of glycogen. So when you're doing weight training, you're exercising, you're getting that energy from these glycogen stores. And then you have provided that excess amount, like the teacup, it overflowed, it went on the tray. So that surplus amount gets into the adipocytes. Now adipocytes, it gets stored in the form of triglycerides. Triglycerides is the stored form of energy, which is your fat tissue. This is fat. So this can be compared to your cash. So your fast cash is something that is very readily available. You can use it anytime. It's always handy. So this is your glucose. So this is your glucose. Then when you have excess of it, yes, you will use it, but then that extra amount you will keep it somewhere and you will use it when required. That is your credit or your debit card. So this is glycogen. Like I told you, glycogen are the stores that you utilize when you exercise. Glycogen stores are in your muscles. And also during periods of fasting, when there is gap in between meals, there is a lot of gap, then your body starts utilizing the stored energy in the liver, which is glycogen. Now again, that surplus amount, it goes into the triglyceride, which is your fixed deposit. Now your fixed deposit, you don't use it every day. You use it only when the need arises because it's locked. It's like in your locker. And this fixed deposit is locked. This is your lock. And it cannot be opened. So you require the keys to open it. So you require the keys. And how will you get the keys? Let us understand this. That whenever there is high levels of insulin, insulin rises because you're supplying that excess amount of carbohydrates daily, regularly, day in and day out, every month, for years together, for decades together. That is how it there is fat gain, and it eventually progresses to obesity. So this happens, you're gaining fat, it eventually progresses to obesity because this pattern of eating is practiced for several days, months, years and decades. You're unaware of it. So there is an imbalance in your system, and this imbalance needs to be addressed. So continuously high levels of insulin is not going to allow this fixed deposit to be utilized. It's like a lock and a key mechanism. So insulin, it helps in utilizing the energy, in giving the stores for the liver and the muscles, and also helps in the storage of the triglycerides. So the fat in the adipocytes will never be utilized when there is continuously high levels of insulin for a prolonged period of time. So this needs to be addressed. Now you need the key to open this fixed deposit, the fat in the adipocytes. Now let us understand how does that work. So whenever there is high level of insulin for a prolonged period of time, high level of insulin will always allow the storage of fats in the adipocytes. So to utilize this adipocytes which is locked, you require a key, and the key to this is decreasing this level of insulin. Now you decrease it, bring the level down where the hormone glucagon is released. Now glucagon is the key. It's the key to utilize this fat. So the insulin has to be brought down where the action, the hormone glucagon comes into play. When glucagon is high, there is continuously utilization of that fat in the adipocytes. So let us understand, this is a graph and this is the time of the day, and this is insulin level. So whenever you eat something which is sugars, that is carbohydrates, suppose you get up in the morning and you have a cup of tea with 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar in it. So sugar has a very high glycemic index, which means that a very high glycemic index, that means it spikes insulin very fast. So you have your tea, so insulin spikes and then it comes down very drastically. So again, after some time you have your breakfast which consists of a lot of carbohydrates, then again your insulin spikes and then again it comes down. So this graph will depend on what type of carbohydrates you're having. Either it's fast absorbing or it's slow absorbing. That depends on whether the carbohydrates are simple or complex. Which, there's a scale, high glycemic index and low glycemic index. So again, after some time, you may, tend to snack in between and have some biscuits or some snacks. Again, it comes. Then you have your lunch, and again, insulin spikes and it comes down. You may snack again in between 2-3 times, and this process keeps happening. So whenever the insulin goes high, you feel very energetic because you have that shortage of energy. But then when it comes down very quickly, extremely fast, this is the phase where you feel low in energy. And this is an important phase because here you feel very lethargic. There is lack of concentration, no motivation. There is a lot of cravings. You feel hungry very frequently. So the reason is because there is always rise and decline, and there is rise and again decline. So the blood glucose levels keep fluctuating very rapidly. So when it is low, you get that sugar cravings, you get that desire to eat something, too much of hunger. And then when you eat again, it increases, and then again it decreases. So this is how insulin's response is to sugars, carbohydrates. But now let us understand that we require energy, right, to perform our daily life activities. And if we decrease carbohydrate, then from where will we get this energy? So the body can utilize carbohydrates as a source of energy, and it can also utilize fats as a source of energy. It can also use proteins as a source of energy, but the body doesn't prefer to use it. But yes, at times it can use it. So it either prefers to use carbohydrates, that is glucose, sugar, or fats as a source of energy. So when you decrease the source, that is carbohydrates, you will not have this fluctuating energy levels and fluctuating glucose. You will avoid increasing insulin very rapidly and very frequently. So when you have fats, the insulin response is very low as in comparison to carbohydrates. When it is carbohydrates, the insulin response is very high, and in comparison, this is proteins. So these are your fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So to utilize the fat storage, to open that lock, you need to keep the insulin very low. Low as in moderation. So when you eat fat, it can be used as a source of energy. So this is how the response of insulin is with what macronutrient you eat. Now, whenever you eat something, very often, and yes, whenever you eat, you keep spiking insulin. And then again when you eat, you keep spiking insulin. So this graph is always there. Now whenever you keep eating, you keep spiking insulin. Now this insulin has to be brought to moderation. So you decrease the number of meals, decrease the frequency, and you keep it to very less number of meals per day. So you keep insulin at moderate level. So this is where we address it as intermittent fasting. So this is the period of intermittent fasting. So you decrease the number of meals, the frequency, So you keep insulin at moderation. And during this phase, you don't feel low in energy because there is no fluctuation in the glucose levels. And this is the period where your body is utilizing the fat for its source of energy. So it's either your dietary fat, the fat that you consume, or it's the stored fat. So this is how the link between obesity, gaining fat, and insulin. So this is how the fat loss can be targeted. So the entire topic is very vast, which I'll be discussing in detail in my upcoming videos.